1975, I changed my music style because in '73 and '74 I was playing R&B and funk, which was real popular back then. A lot of James Brown, Parliament, Barcades, Confunction, groups like that, Dramatics, Bootsy, and but in '75, my upper classmate at Mendo, he gave a party at the Den One, which was a gay club, and I didn't know it at the time. In fact, it was my first time going to a club, much less. It was also my first time going to the North Side because I'm a born and raised South Sider, and I didn't even know what gay was, much less a gay club. So when he gave the party, I just wanted to go to the party, and I get in there and I hear this music, and it's disco music, and I'm like, whoa, this is kind of different disco music than I'm used to, because the disco music I heard on the radio at that point was real kind of like the white disco music, real commercial disco, and that was cool, but the kind of disco he was playing was soulful and had energy. I was like, oh shit, what is this shit? And so from that point, I went up and asked the DJ what he was playing, and Free Man and Brothers Gonna Work It Out, and Peace Pipe and records like that. I was like, what the hell is it? And so he was telling me, and then I asked him his name, and that was Ron Hardy. So from that point, I asked him, where can I hear this music? And he said, you have to go to gay clubs and hear this. I said, gay club? What's a gay club? He said, you standing in one. I'm like, okay. I still didn't know what a gay club was, though. I said, well, what? Okay, but what's a gay club? And he said, and the DJ booth was upstairs. He looked down. He said, look down. You see at the bar? You say, you see those two guys? I looked down, and I saw those two guys, and they was huddled up. Kids like, whoa. He said, that's a gay club. I'm like, okay, well, I don't care about that. I just want to know about this music. And so he said, well, where do you live? And at that time, I was in South Shore. And he said, well, there's a gay club called the Jeffrey Pub. You can go hear this music here, there too. And so that's what I did. I went and checked out and heard that music. And so I would go to gay clubs on the south side of Chicago and listen to the music, and then I would go buy it, And that's how I got my record collection. Because disco, for straight kids, was called house music. Now, disco for gay kids was called disco, because disco was huge at the time, Shit, you had a movie made, Saturday Night Fever and stuff. But what I did was I brought that music back to the South Side. I was the first straight DJ who brought that disco music back to the South Side for our peers and people in the hood and stuff like that. And so that's and at that time, we weren't going. I was 15, 16 years old. Mm-hmm. We weren't going to clubs. We were doing parties in people's basements and high schools and stuff like that. So they would hear this music coming out of these people's houses, and that's how the term house music came, because that's the kind of music we was playing, because they didn't know it as disco at the time. They just thought it was fast music, And I started in '75 and playing disco, and difficulties. Well, I cleared some dance floors in the beginning, because my peers weren't used to that music, and they might hear a record here or a record there throughout the night, but mostly it was funk and R&B. Whereas at that point, I was playing all disco, and so I cleared dance floors, and they weren't used to a lot of the music. They knew the more commercial disco music, let's say like Fly Robin Fly or Let's Spank, something like that. But at that time, they didn't know music like Let's Start to Dance and Free Man and records like that. They didn't know that. But so I cleared dance floors, and so, but I was very persistent because I really believed in the music. And so I kept on, playing the music, and eventually, the girls got into it first. And then once the girls got into it and they started dancing with each other on the dance floor, then the guys would follow,